The following is a 6th grade lesson for January 10th, 2017. Basically focused a little bit more on writing today. We also started a book called Sadako and the Thousand Paper Cranes. So, started it. We'll probably finish it tomorrow, or on block day. Definitely this week. It's a pretty short book. The entire slideshow that you're about to see, you've already seen before. It's basically how to plan and write an essay. I've gone through the whole thing, so I'm literally just going to kind of highlight things as I'm going through. Okay? There's a lot of slides. I like to be able to just quickly get through it. So TAP is obviously task, audience, and purpose. Okay, those definitions are right here. Easy to be able to find. Cub's easy enough as well. You all know the basics of it. Circle, underline, and box. However, pay close attention to what you're circling, underlining, and boxing. Okay? That's what's going to get you a little bit further than just what circle, underline, and box mean. Okay? Now, unfortunately, the circles here aren't going to match up the way that they should. So this is going to look a little bit weird. Okay? But you're going to be looking for one particular sentence. And the circles... nope, not anywhere near it. Alright. The sentence you're looking for is write a well-supported essay in which you explain how Jackie Robinson stood up for his rights. That's your Cub sentence. That's what's going to have your circle, your underline, your boxing of key terms. All that stuff is going to go in there. Okay? But remember, you were circling whether you were going to explain or argue in your essay. Okay? You were underlining what you were explaining or arguing in the essay. And then you box key terms that you think you're going to need to find in the passages or put in your actual writing. Okay, another one. Again, same sentence begins with write a well-supported essay. That's what you're looking for. Okay, circle was close this time. You're looking for explain. Then everything else would be underlined. Okay, tells you what you're explaining. Write an essay. That's the sentence you're looking for. Okay, the top part's important, because that lets you know what you're supposed to be looking for. It gives you your questions and everything else. But at the end of the day, that right sentence is what your Cub sentence is going to be. Alright? So write a well-supported argument. This one you're going to circle argument and take one of the positions above. Either way, it says the same thing. Okay? Okay, peel, point, evidence, elaboration, and link. Here are those definitions as well. Okay, peel applies to your body paragraphs, not your intro or your conclusion. Okay, let's go through the example. Again, you're looking at that one sentence to start off with, alright? So your prompt is the whole thing. Find your Cub sentence real quick first, so that way you know exactly what you're expected to do. This one you're going to be arguing a little bit, right? You're going to be taking a position, whether figure is real or imagined. You know, we've done this essay in class. Okay, all the other terms from that sentence or from the paragraph above it are where you're going to box for key terms. Okay? Remember, there are two questions in this prompt. You have to answer both of them, otherwise the prompt is not fully answered. Okay? So how do you read the prompt? Well, you're always given two or more sources to read. Read each source twice, first for understanding, second to answer the questions. Kind of skim through it the second time through. Okay? When it comes to planning, make sure you actually do plan, even if it's a basic one. Okay, your basic plan is write your claim or controlling idea first, then you write your points or your reasons why, or what you're going to be explaining about. Okay? That's a basic plan. You tie some evidence into it from the passages and you're good to go. It doesn't have to be this long drawn out thing. So if we were to plan this essay, you're going to take a position, if you're real or if you're imagined. Write your reasons as to why you chose that. Now, take those reasons and match them to the evidence that you can find from your writing. Okay, that second read through is where you're going to start trying to prove those points. Okay? Your introduction paragraph, always start with a hook. Okay? Explain the topic in a little bit more detail, then present your claim or controlling idea to end the paragraph. Build up to it. Alright, so your introduction, it's going to be a shorter paragraph too. Okay? Introduction, you're introducing the topic. That's all you're doing. Okay? So, you're providing background information about your topic. And then your final sentence is what tells your audience what you will explain or what you will argue about. Okay? So your attention getter, your grabber, hook, whatever you want to call it. Okay? You could start with something like this. You can start with believe it or not. There's quite a few different ways of getting people's attention. Alright? Here's my examples. The hook is in green. I talk about the topic of fear in blue, which builds up to the red section, which is my claim where I take a side. That's what I'm looking for your introduction. Okay? Introduce the topic, whatever you're being asked to write about. Okay? If it's birds, alright, discuss birds a little bit. Have that lead up to, some birds can fly, some birds can't, whatever your prompt is asking you for. Okay? Here's another example from the other side. I wrote both of them as a way of proving to you it doesn't matter what side you take on an argument. As long as you can back up your argument, you're going to do just fine on this assignment. Okay? How to write a body paragraph. This is where appeal comes into play. Okay, I'm going to be going through this section a little bit quickly, so make sure if you want to see something, pause it at different places or go back. Okay? All of this, I guarantee you have already seen. Definitely pause it, so that way you can make sure what's going through. I am going to stop at these particular sections, though. Okay? Your first sentence of your body paragraph is always your point. What is that paragraph going to be about? Here's several different ways you can begin your paragraphs. And each of them is pretty good. Okay? Your evidence always follows that. So, your evidence is meant to prove your paragraph's point. You can paraphrase it, which is a short summary, or you can use a direct quote. Always cite your source. Okay? Paragraph 3, it states this, according to the article. It says this, according to the author of the article. Okay? I even gave you a whole bunch more here. All of this is how you cite your source. You tell me where you got the information from. Okay? Elaboration. This is where you show the reader why the evidence is so important. This is what you're writing, which means this is the most important part of the essay. You're explaining what your evidence is actually doing. Okay? Here's examples of elaboration sentences. So, all of this is meant to basically just give you ideas. Alright? And then your linking sentence should be the last sentence of each body paragraph, and it's meant to transition to your next paragraph. So you introduce the idea of the next paragraph without giving too much information. Okay? So if you're switching from, I'll use the bird example from earlier. So you're switching from regular birds to flightless birds. Okay? Talk about the fact that birds are able to fly is not their only defining factor. There are other things that you can look at with birds. Then you can talk about, well, there are birds that don't fly, and go from there. Okay? Include a transition word. Transitions are very, very helpful. Here's a whole list of them. Okay? And exactly when to use them. It's a rather long list. And some of them repeat. But these are what I'm looking for. Okay? These can go in your point sentences. These can go in your counterclaim. These can go in your linking sentences. These can go pretty much anywhere you want them to go, as long as it's not every single sentence. Okay? Which is what I'm going to basically have on this slide here. Don't use it for every sentence, otherwise it's going to be a little weird. Okay? Conclusion is wrapping up your essay. Okay? Restate your claim of controlling idea. Discusses the topic again. Okay? You're not reviewing anything, you're discussing the topic again. And then your final sentence is meant to leave an impression. Okay? General tips for conclusion. And then put it all together. So, you have your word choice, which is important. Okay? How you phrase things defines everything. Don't be a lazy speller. Okay? You hear me say this all the time. If, for whatever reason, you don't remember how to spell something that was in the prompt or in the articles, go back and look. Spell it correctly. Okay? And then grammar and punctuation, obviously, is your last step. Go back and make sure it says what you think it says. Sometimes when you're writing, you write something down, and it makes sense to you in your brain, but when you read it out loud, you're missing a few words. Always double check. Okay, which is why I have that checklist there for you. Alright? Then we have informal versus formal writing, which I've discussed several times in class. And we'll end with forbidden words. Okay, there's the whole list of them. So, your next writing essay practice is going to be next week. So, definitely go through this slideshow. It's going to help out immensely. That concludes the lesson of the day.